Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Ramon Foster Show. See, I have proof because that's Ramon Foster over there. See him?
That's me.
What's going on, Mo?
Not much, man. Got a little snow down here in Tennessee, DK. It's one of those days, man, where the South, in general, the South is shut down. DK, that's what we got going on here, man.
Yes. All it takes is one flake there, huh?
That's it. You know how it goes, man. Look, they'll put down, no, we don't put down sand in here like Dallas did us at the Super Bowl, but we do. We were prepared a little bit more this time around. I will say that.
It's cold out here in Pittsburgh. It's like crazy cold. Yeah. It hit 9 overnight, and it's only like about 11 now. It's supposed to climb throughout the day, but
9?
Yeah, but we're not here to do a weather forecast.
Ooh, no, we're not. I got my bell ready too.
You do?
In case we needed to hit that, DK, to get us started, because Still a Love might actually have our main topic of the day, DK.
Oh, is that right?
I just started. Absolutely, man.
All right. Well,
but I'm ready where you are there. It's a happy bell.
Let's do it. It's crazy that the report within the last hour came out that the NFL salary cap will be even higher for the 2025 season than had been originally anticipated. It's going, if you haven't seen it, from 277 to 281. Now that sounds like not much. It's $4 million, but that's up from 255 from last season. So it will have gone up $53 million over 2 years. And where is all that money going to go, Moan?
I got 4 places. The main one, though, quarterback.
It's all going to the quarterback. Don't kid yourself. It always all goes to the quarterbacks until there's a quarterback cap.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, DK. And here's what I do know too: the NFL ain't just throwing numbers and spending money because they got a credit card, DK. No, they're actually gaining this money. And I say that to say real quick for the folks that be like, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. They don't care. DK, they don't care if you got Chiefs fatigue or any of that type of stuff. DK, they do not care. Steelers love put it out there. Dang, is what yes. They are hand over fist making money. So you will play this game the way they want you to, DK. And we're going to force feed you to watch it because I think Netflix is even trying to get Sunday Night Football. It was one of those networks. So people are wanting to pour into the NFL. These salaries are nuts, though, DK.
Yeah, exactly. And the cap for because we're being asked here how much cap space will the Steelers have total. It was around 55 before this. Now it makes it 59 and 60. And you want to know something?
What's that?
Omar Khan can still, if he wanted to, reconstruct some contracts.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I don't know that you'll need to here, but the main thing I think of is right here what our friend Joshua Dobbs says. Man. Justin Fields, got to pay Justin. Do you think there'll be a market for Justin?
They have to at this point because Justin's going to have, in my opinion, more than one suitor too. And in order to have a good contract, you need more than one suitor, DK, and that's where they're going to have to pay for Justin. I see. I usually go to this site, Spot Track, to see the figures and stuff like that. It has the Steelers at almost $56 million in available cap space. DK,
before this.
Before this. How much did we usually have in my era, DK, of cap space?
Oh, about $100,000. But let's call it like it is. The reason for that is that you guys were getting paid. Yeah. This was back in the era when they used to pay offensive players.
Yeah.
Okay. And you would reward them by putting up 30 points a game, and everybody was okay with all of it, right?
100%, man. And also you had a franchise quarterback that you were paying. All I've heard, I'm going to get back to my original point. All we ever heard when it was negotiating time, DK, we're up against the cap. We're tight. We got to restructure somebody. And now here's Omar Khan, in your sense, doing this right here, DK, just twirling his thumbs with a pocket full of cash to go spend and deal with.
But he can't, Moan. He's got to sign Justin Fields.
He got to.
I say that independent of, even if you happen to believe that they need to get more than that or whatever else, you can't go into the offseason with 0 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. But what I'm hearing is they want Justin. They're going to go after him. But get it done before the open market,
You should. Yeah, 100%. I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today, DK, about that. It's a whole lot cheaper if you get them before they hit the open market. And also, too, I know a lot of people be like, well, Justin wants as much as he can get. Listen, there's also such thing as security and knowing that, hey, I'm going to be able to get paid right now and get it out of the way, too. And it's the same offense with Arthur Smith and stuff like that. So there's an opportunity for him to go and command that room. What I'm hearing from you, DK, is also this on why it makes sense. The locker room wants Justin. Justin recently, from what I just saw on social media, also said he wants to have a deal with Pittsburgh too. So whether that's true or not, or that's social media doing this thing as far as telling lies, but if both of y'all want to be in a relationship with one another, do it. Now, the other part of it, DK, the financials, right? I looked at a projection. One said giving Justin like a 1 year, $25 million. If it is a multiple year deal, DK, I can see Justin having an average of about 35 a year just because you got to lock him up, and especially
you just gave half of everybody a heart attack.
What's that?
I'm just telling you, that's a heck of a hike.
It is a heck of a hike.
I'm as much of a Fields supporter as anybody, but the fact of the matter is he lost his job in Chicago, just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he lost his job in Pittsburgh, technically speaking, after 6 games. So all I'm saying is I think, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Is you were the money guy when you were playing. You were all in everybody's money all the time. I can say that here on the show. I couldn't back when you were playing.
No doubt about it.
But you would, I don't want to say you were offering advice or anything, but you were there as a sounding board for guys. And whenever this subject would come up, do you hit the open market? Do you wait it out? Do you do that if you're Justin? Do you say, because all it takes is one, Moan? All it takes is one.
So here's the thing. I see that 35 a year got him tripping right now.
I told you. It had me too.
But here's the thing though, DK. If you are the potential franchise quarterback that's going to be signed for multiple years and you're telling me, here's my football and it's my team, a lot comes with that, DK.
Mm-hmm.
Baker Mayfield showed us a lot comes with that. That is his model right there. Let me see if I can effort that up, DK. But here's the thing, too. All right. So you mentioned DK that is there any way that this can be? Is it better for him to do it, right, DK? You know what? Real quick before I go to Baker Mayfield, 3 years, $100 million. He's averaging $33 million a year. The cap going up suggests that Justin might sit at 35.
I still can't do it.
So here's the thing, though. So you mentioned, is it better for Justin to get it locked up, and why wouldn't it get locked up right now? Well, next week is the NFL scouting combine. You know what happens at scouting combines? I know head coaches are going to be there, GM's going to be there, and agents are going to be there, and some players are also there too, DK, trying to talk to teams also too to kind of sweeten the pot a little bit. If Justin's agents or representation go into those meetings with Omar and Coach Tomlin and they feel disrespected, they'll probably go to the open market at that point. But here's the thing, too. There's risk in going to the open market, and your number is, I hate to say it's collusion or anything, DK, but your number can be set lower. Okay? I'm not willing to pay Justin more than what Baker got. And they talk to each other too. Those owners, coaches, and GMs, they talk to each other too. So that can happen, but it's always a team that's desperate for a guy. And what I know is this, being a top 10 pick that Justin Fields is, the intangibles that he played with, the playmaker ability that he has, and everybody, DK, feel like they can fix the former first rounder, he may have a higher market. It depends upon what happens in Indianapolis, if you're asking me.
That's interesting. I mean, there's always... There's stuff that's behind the scenes of what's behind the scenes that happens in the National Football League.
If we could go there real quick. Remember the year of no cap salary cap. Remember that? There was supposed to be no cap on the salary cap in 2011 right before the lockout. What we found out after when the Washington Commanders ended up having to sell was Washington said, screw everybody. And they decided to overspend in free agency. And some of the documents that we've seen has shown there was collusion, DK, that they set a fake ceiling on how much teams were going to spend. So we're not going to act like they won't go to Indianapolis and say, I wouldn't pay Justin over 30. And that might just be what his market is if he's looking to cash in, or it might be 22. I don't know, but that type of stuff happens.
When you're dealing with agents and they tell you, listen, your loyalty is commendable. We really respect that about you. We want you to be happy. What are they actually saying inside parentheses? I mean, don't they want you to go to the open market?
They want you to go.
Push you to go to the open market.
They want you to go to the open market, because here's the thing too. The agent has 2 or 3 days that they work a year or every 3 years. That's leading up to the contract, the day before, the day you sign it, and hey, might send you a bottle of champagne afterwards, DK, as a congratulations. The more they can make up front in your signing bonus, the better it is for them and the better it is for their clients as far as being able to brag about, hey, look what I did for you. Okay? So, yes, most agents, DK, don't like for guys to re-sign back unless they know it's a real good deal. But hitting the open market is a good thing for the guys that draw that type of attention, though. Like, I see a guy this year and the former first-round tackle, Mekhi Becton, hitting the open market for him is going to be huge, right? Like Trey Smith, that's the only thing that can knock him off, the other guard from Kansas City. It's going to be huge for those types of guys, and you just know it's going to be the case. And the only reason I bring up Mekhi Becton is he's a failed first-rounder, had an amazing year with Philadelphia, and now teams are going to want some of that. So what they thought they could pay him last year as a project, now they know he can be a potential Pro Bowl guard. So that costs a little bit more. And I think the 4-2 record that Justin had in Pittsburgh has some folks, DK, saying, I can work with that.
I mean, it's also that the traits that he brings are so in line with what coaches, including, by the way, the coaches of the Pittsburgh Steelers, say they want. They want to add that to their offense. The things that Justin can do cannot be coached, cannot be taught. They're inherent. He had those rolling out of the womb.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Now, what's I don't know. I just see. Here's what I know also. Okay, so let's bring it back here, because the one experience that you never had, you in the National Football League, was switching teams. Okay,
I'm glad I didn't. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
Right. Now, whether or not it was something that you thought about or tempting, I don't even know. I don't think I've ever asked you that.
It just came to me with a deal early that was very fair from what I had heard from the combine. That's what happened, DK. At that point, my agent goes up, talk to him. Hey, this is what happened. That team is saying this. They want to do 1 year. I think it was 1 year like the Giants or something. Like, they just want to do it 1 year. Steelers willing to do 3. It's that simple sometimes, DK. And you weigh your options and you go a different direction based upon money and longevity of the deal too.
So if you're Justin and you are genuinely happy to be in Pittsburgh, you're genuinely happy to be with these teammates, with this coordinator, with his head coach. And by the way, that's all I heard from Justin all season long in our own talks. Yeah. Okay. Now everyone can say that, oh, of course he's going to say that, whatever. Okay. Maybe, but I'd like to think that after, 25 years in this business, I can tell the difference between when somebody's okay. He wants to be here. He wants this to be his team. You mentioned Moan, his social media. You've seen he's putting up pictures of him and his teammates celebrating in the end zone and whatever else. Why do you do that?
You do that, DK, because you're trying to sell it. It's the same way that wide receivers throw a tantrum, correct? Wide receivers throw a tantrum because they want the football. What usually happens after wide receivers throw a tantrum, DK? They get the football. Like, these things, it isn't a science, man. And here's the other part, too, behind Justin to me. Justin's not necessarily on the clock, because Geno Smith taught us that, look, okay, like you can resurrect your career. But, DK, there's this, too. At some point in that career, you need a home base. why would you not want him to be Pittsburgh? And the other side of it is, if he's happy, DK, are you willing to give something back to the team if that also means, DK, you will win? Right?
The one thing that Justin was able to get a taste of in his 6 starts, excuse me, is, well, he actually had a few wins near the end of his Chicago tenure, to be fair. Yeah. But he was able to get a taste of winning, getting a taste of that crowd enjoying what's happening on the field, as opposed to, what would happen routinely at Soldier Field. So I feel like he found himself in an environment that I think he's going to want to make this happen beforehand. I really do. Moan, is he your guy?
Is Justin my guy?
Yeah,
yes,
for the Steelers.
He's my guy for the Steelers.
Why is that?
Yes. Because Steelers need him. They won't say this out loud, but they need him, DK, in the sense that he's young enough. Pittsburgh, in my opinion, ain't going to be sorry enough, DK, to pick in the top 10, right? And at this point in his career, as young as he is, DK, he knows he has a whole lot of security as it pertains to his style of play with Arthur Smith, the love that he gets from his teammates, the city, and what it means to be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, too. I think he's there. So just based off the first one I said, DK, I don't see Pittsburgh, unless they decide to crash and burn and move up, going into the top 10 and get a young quarterback. He is by far the best option. The last quarterback you drafted in the first round was number 20th overall.
That's true.
And you're 21 this year.
And it was in a bad class, too. Jay Moods before. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No. I was just going to say, and what's a franchise quarterback? A guy that can win you games and help make the team better. I think if the locker room is fully his, DK, it's his. Ben had a lot of flaws, right? Before him, like other guys have had, like Patrick Mahomes has flaws. Joe Burrow has flaws. Brady had flaws, right? It's a matter of crafting a system. Yes, a system for your QB1 that works, DK. That's what it boils down to.
Jay Mood says, I feel like Justin got better after every start. I'm ready to ride with him. The one thing that stood out for me more than anything else, Moan, everyone talks about his mobility. Everyone talks about his escapability, which was key given that the offensive line is still very much a work in progress. Mm-hmm. What stood out for me was his accuracy. I mean, that faded a little bit in his final, let's say, game and a half.
It was.
But for the first 4+, I didn't know he had that in him. But I saw it all through camp. I saw it all through the preseason. I saw him putting a touch on the ball that I didn't even know existed. I don't sit here and watch the Bears every week.
No, exactly. Same here.
And that to me was jarring. Like, whoa, I didn't know he had that ball in him.
You know what's even cooler, though, too, man? It's the part that Richard brings up right here real quick, DK. Mm-hmm. Justin Fields can make it 11-11 ball.
What's that mean? I didn't understand that when I saw that.
You make him a weapon with his legs, right? And the other part of him being able to use his legs, DK, is, again, the offensive line has this issue. I'm pointing the finger at Broderick Jones this year, okay? I got to see more. I need more. We demand more out of you. But if you're not right, or if you guys are young and still growing up, Justin being able to use his legs, man, is huge. We've seen him have big runs in Chicago. We've seen him escape out of the pocket. Heck, Arthur Smith this year had a run package for him whenever Russell came out. So that's what Justin Fields can make it 11-on-11 ball mean to me, is he can throw it, but he can also hurt you with his legs, which is what Jalen Hurts did in the Super Bowl.
Oh, Jay Moods just won my heart here. Before we go to the Hey Moan segment, it says the CA3 pass over the middle sold me on Fields. For anybody who doesn't know what that means, it was just a bleeping bullet. It was no more than 10 or 12 yards, the play. But, I mean, there was a pocket that was like about this big, right?
Yeah.
And it went right in. And Calvin himself told me it was just so perfect. That's what you want to see.
I got a story for you after this segment. I can't tell it on here, but it's about that play.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's on that cryptic note, let's take a super quick break here and then come back with the only segment that actually matters.
And that's Hey Moan.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
And we're back with the only segment that matters, and that's Hey Moan. And the way this works is you yell out Hey Moan, and then he answers you. It's pretty scientific.
Yeah, it's real easy. As I just sent DK also
You
the
sent me
message
a
I
text?
wanted. Yeah, I wanted to send you that.
Text then.
Yeah. But shout out to Calvin, man.
Oh no! Come on, we can read that to everybody, right?
We'll do it at the
We
end
don't
of
know
the
where
show.
it came from, right?
Yeah, we'll know where it came from.
All right,
But
we'll save it to the end of the show. You have to
save it
say
to the end
that's
of
what
the
you
show.
have to do. You have,
Yeah.
But we're not giving up where it came from because you didn't even tell me where it came from. So
No, I
we're all
cannot.
good, right?
Yeah.
You know, you have to stay to the very end for this story. It's worth it.
Yeah, it is worth it.
Wow. Okay, so let's get right to the Hey Moans here. Why are we all asking about Mason Rudolph today? Everyone wants Mason back.
Mason's a good locker room guy, man. And it's that old thing. I tell you what, Titans fans are like, no, we don't want Mason back. Mason's my guy, though. So it's win, DK. This league is win. And win now, man.
Bark Z says, Hey Moan, as a former player, if you were in Justin Fields' shoes, would you want to come back after you got pulled for really not doing anything wrong? Isn't it kind of a slap in the face to even be asked to come back?
Barks, man, great question, man. And it's probably twofold in how I'm going to answer this one real quick. We got just a little bit of time, DK. But here's the thing. Would I want to come back? Potentially, yeah, because you saw Justin be a good teammate. Here's two things I'll tell you, man, or I'll suggest to you. One, I don't think that move was made without Coach Tomlin talking to Justin. I don't. On that move right there, I doubt it. Now, we'll see. But it seems like Justin and the team are in good position right now, too. The other part of this is I do still think because Justin at times had moments where he would just move around in the pocket without anywhere to go. And that's something that he probably needed to see Russ do on the field, be better at. Like, I think sometimes Justin was pushed out way too quick to try to save Chicago, and maybe sitting back and watching a veteran like Russ prepare, command the huddle, and be a pro also could potentially help Justin. And the other side of it for me is the competitor in most players, once you get pulled to the sideline and you got to watch, it makes you a little bit more hungry. I ain't saying it's mind games that Coach T done played with him. I do think it was a little bit of business, keep Justin's number low, but also let Justin grow while watching also.
Similar line of questioning from Mark, who says, why would Fields want to sign where there are no weapons? Smells of another Bears scenario. Would you agree that there are no weapons?
I would trust this. Omar and them have always been able to find guys. It might have to come through the draft. Luther Burden, if he falls farther down, I think he's a high-caliber first-round draft pick. They still have, what's his name from last year, two out of Michigan, who didn't play this year.
Roman Wilson.
George is still there, and also Calvin, too. I got a feeling Jalen Warren will still be back in his position at some point in time. Replacing Najee, it's just one of them spots right there, man. I hate to say it, but most teams, you can find a running back.
Maybe find one.
Yeah, sucks to say, right, DK, but it's true.
Yeah, here's
and you got a tight end, two of them, three of them, three tight. You got more weapons.
You've got a pass catcher for sure in Pat Fryermuth.
Yeah, you do.
Tycho says, "At what year are we at in the rebuilding process? All because we let the vine wilt without a replacement ready. I blame the GM, the head coach, and the owner. Love the show. To me, the rebuild is almost in two lanes.
Yeah.
Okay." The rebuild has been first and foremost about the quarterback position, obviously most important position on the field. But the other lane has been, and I'm not saying this because I'm talking to you, but it's been the offensive line.
Yeah.
Now, I think everybody understood that there was going to be a challenge in replacing what you guys had. Okay?
Yeah.
But I don't know that everybody expected a half decade later that they'd still be in it, especially after they've put tens of millions of dollars into it. Multiple first-round picks, now a second-round pick in Zach Frazier, and we're still waiting. We're still waiting. That to me is what the rebuilding here is. If you think about it, the defense didn't rebuild. The defense was just the defense, okay? Mm-hmm. But the offense, it's quarterback and it's offensive line.
Yeah, I think with Cole and James Daniels, man, and Herbig also, I think they attempted, DK, to find quick replacement to sustain it. I do think now this iteration of what this offensive line is with Zach and everybody from left to right, I think they're ready. I think this is like the second phase for me, DK. It's the way I look at it. Like it's not just starting, but this group is in a position to where like they're in years 2, 3, and 4 to where they got to grow up a little bit more. You lose Dan this year, from my understanding, Dan Moore. But you also have Troy Fautano, who's probably going to step into that spot or move Broderick over. I don't look at this as a further rebuild in, let's say, a team I cover like the Titans or the Patriots or those. Like the one thing the Patriots got is they have a quarterback, right? If you sign Justin, I think you're way ahead of any of those teams. Like with the right offense, I can see this team having a year like Washington had, DK. With respect to Lamar, okay, and Joe Burrow. With respect to those dudes.
Jason Williams says, hey, Moan, as a veteran, what advice would you have for players paying attention to social media?
As a vet, social media ain't real. It's a small percentage of the population, and right now there are a bunch of dumb bots on there, so don't pay attention to comments.
So, I mean, do you tell – well, no, would you tell – like, for example, we saw Broderick Jones get into it with people. We've seen others over the years get into it on social. Would you tell them just stay off it entirely? A lot of athletes say that they do, but they really don't.
No, they don't.
That's been my experience.
They don't. What I would tell them is this, man, pick your battles. If it's one that you know you're going to win, cool. Like, even I fall victim to, hey, let me burn you real quick, okay? And get in and get out, but you're never going to win it. You're never going to win it unless, like, I always try to get, like, my followers involved. And it's like, hey, give this guy his 15 minutes of fame so he can get his rocks off and we'll go about our life again. Know when to shut it off is what I would tell them. You can't avoid it, DK, and most of them grew up on it right now.
PJ asks, did Mike Tomlin cover for the owner? Ownership liked Russ. Tomlin kept saying he likes a mobile quarterback. That's why I didn't understand this at all.
Loyalty. Did he cover for the owner? Ownership like Russ. Tomlin kept saying he likes a mobile quarterback. That's why ownership backs Tomlin. Well, I'll say this. Everything in the building mostly have to align. And here's the other part of it, too, as far as quarterbacks go. Like, from my understanding, like draft picks that are quarterbacks, okay, ownerships might have something to say about it. But and protection of it, the quarterback, too. But as it pertains to what the owners tell, at least in Pittsburgh, the coaches what to do, I don't think they get too involved like that, DK. Mr. Rooney, we see him at the beginning of the year and around the building, but you never hear him saying, hey, do this with Ben or run this offense with Justin or Russ. You don't have the Cowboys or Raiders owners, okay?
Stiegel says, hey, Moan, I think the 5-game slide had more to do with your constant warnings about a young, inexperienced offensive line. 3/5 of the line taking the majority of the season snaps entered 2024 with a combined total of 11 starts. I mean, if you go back, I don't think it's just the 5-game slide at the end. I mean, there was maybe 1 or 2 games where afterward you would say, boy, the line actually looked pretty good. That was good, you know?
Right. And again, before we got good, DK, we went through these struggles too. To be honest with you, we had a blanket called Ben that covered up a lot of the mess that we had going on. This group is a step that I expect them to be better this upcoming year, DK. Specifically, if Broderick holds up his end of it too. I don't think we really got many questions about anybody else, not even Troy. I got less questions about Troy Fautano than I do Broderick right now. So that's the only,
we're looking at Broderick. We're waiting on Troy.
Yeah, exactly. So they're in a good spot is what I would say. They're young, they're under contract, and they are some fighters, man. And in this league, when you got a young group, that's what you need. Trust me, I've seen bad offensive line play. That O-line is just young. They ain't bad, okay?
Dead Sea Monster says, hey, Mo, with the Ireland game coming up, it makes me think about that flight. You ever play with a guy who was afraid to fly? Any stories to that effect? How was it handled?
My first flight was just in general in college. Was in college. I was scared outside of my mind. I was trying to make sure everybody turned. This is like '04 too, DK. So I'm telling everybody.
Oh, different.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is
yeah,
college
different
me.
time.
I'm telling everybody turn your phone off and all those types. Sit in your seatbelt, like all those types of things. But not really, man. You got to think. By the time guys get on planes, they're good to go. No, let me get that. Alejandro. For very, very specific reasons. His last mission, he got shot at by like rockets and missiles. So he always had anxiety whenever going up in the air or landing.
He was all his stories are always better than all the rest of our stories. Do you ever notice that?
Yes.
You can tell him I said that too the next time you talk to him. It's just like, no matter what you have, Allie be sitting there quiet and everything. And then he'd come up with a story that just blew yours to pieces.
It was,
but I could see that.
He explains it like missiles and rockets, like shooting at them, and the helicopter pilot is trying to like maneuver out of this mountainous region. Yeah. So for the people that ever dissed Al because of whatever, anything, he was in it. Okay. He wasn't respectfully just in the kitchen, just so you know.
Oh man, I'll bet we weren't expecting that answer.
Yeah, but Al was. He was nervous about it.
This is from Bark Z says, "Oh, first off, just to thank our favorite barber popped up, as we kind of knew that he would.
What a barber! About
he
time.
Always does. Yeah, it is about time. Actually, it is about time. Of course, he has to come in with the additional 5 afterward. That's his thing." Bark Z says, "Hey, Moan, with all due respect to your great friendship with Ben Roethlisberger, it was great to see you guys together on his podcast. Does he hold some responsibility for not having his successor already here? How, Ben, is this Ben's fault?"
Yeah, I think it's for this reason. Let me, and Bark Z's been active in here too. So is it because he wouldn't go away, or like the idea like franchise quarterbacks having an Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love situation where it would have made it weird that the front office didn't go get a guy? If that's the case, that's Ben and that's the front office. Okay. I'm not sure. I didn't ask him that on his podcast or nothing like that. And if it was Ben supposedly training up a guy, here's the other thing too, Barks. You won't catch many. I'm talking about many starting franchise quarterbacks that are willing to help the backup quarterback either. I think there's a great story with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes, but more times than not, I mean, Brett Favre didn't help out Aaron. Aaron barely helped out Jordan up until late. Like, most times you're not really helping out your successor because you got to think that's one of 32 jobs and the only most important position on the team. Them dudes is just different, respectfully.
There's yeah.
Am I right on that?
You really are. You really are.
Them dudes just different, man. Like, Dak ain't helping, I'm sure, Trey Lance like that in Dallas. Like, I mean, you ain't gonna find many that's gonna be that willing.
Madeline says, "What's the holdup with Justin Fields? Why are we dragging our feet on him?" I'm going to jump in on this one, Moan, because I don't know that anybody's holding up anything or that there's a dragging the feet process. What is the date that NFL free agency begins?
Is it March 6th or 8th? It's like tampering. I think so.
Yeah, although the tampering happens nonstop, just so that we have that straight.
Yeah.
But it's not something that's tomorrow or whatever. So I don't know that they're dragging their feet.
I got you right here, DK.
What's that?
Negotiating period starts March 10th through the 12th. So yeah, March 12th.
So we're talking about close to 3 weeks from now. So it's not like it's, bang right there.
To.
Yeah, they can get together. They can talk. And sometimes, Moan, isn't it true that with these types of negotiations, even with a quarterback or whoever, that it only takes just sitting down face to face, and then you say, okay, here, let's do this. Let's get this done. I don't want this to drag out. I don't want this to drag out either. Boom.
No more than usually 3 calls, to be honest with you. This is what you want. This is what we want. Okay, well, let's meet somewhere in the middle and start discussing it at that point, DK. The money's usually there. It's a matter of how much more can I get up front. The whole number is usually there. It's about how much can I drag to the front of the line to make guaranteed money, DK. And again, here's the other thing, too. Most coaches are out of the office or getting ready to go to the combine or just got back from these regional combines or Senior Bowl, too.
Damian Preston says, he says, we'd love you in Port Arthur, Texas. 2 questions. Can you man cover? Oh, my God, he's asking me this. Jeez, no. And have you ever met anybody named Pittsburgh? Because that's what I named my oldest son.
Wow.
You called your child Pittsburgh? Did you put the H on the end?
Oh, wow, DK.
I'd have to see a birth certificate. I'm sorry.
That's actually hilarious. Well, then you say that, but you say that at this rehab place I went to recently, DK, one of the doctors there had a sister, huge Steeler fan. Guess what the dad named the daughter?
Oh, no.
Bradshaw.
Bradshaw
Lillian or something like that. Yes.
Yeah. See, Damien's getting all defensive because Jay Mood says, I don't believe you. Damien's like, that's his real name. I swear.
Yeah.
And yes, that is absolutely wild. Ryan George comes in with, I named my kid Winning Season. That would have been so much funnier if you said non-losing season. I just want that out there.
Yeah. Or if he'd have made it a Tomlin joke, I named my next kid Winning Season. Like, what are we talking about? You missed your shot right there, Ryan.
Oh, you missed it bad. Pittsburgh Toddy says, I named one of my cats Sergei Gonchar for the Penguins' former great defenseman. Okay, that's a cat. That's not a child.
Yeah, come on, man.
I got a good question here from Randy that I want to make sure I get before we chime out for the day because it was really good. Here it is. Randy says, hey, Moan, does offensive line stability come from playing in front of a constant quarterback? We need to stop changing quarterbacks, right?
Which is why I want Justin.
Okay, that I want to hear. That Randy wants to hear.
That does matter. Think about our timeline we've had since 2020 or 2021. Like, we blamed a lot of sacks on the offensive lines, primarily Dan Moore, because why? Kenny Pickett kept rolling out to the left. Remember, he wouldn't stay in the pocket. If you look at Ben, I saw a highlight of Ben recently. Ben would move up in the pocket, side in the pocket, around the pocket before he actually went out. He allowed us to do our job. So, yes, Randy, it comes with a lot of work and reps. Games matter. DK, somebody put up here recently, there's 3 of the 5 came in with only 11 starts under their belt at the 24th season. That does matter. Experience. Only way to get through is go through experience, man. But also knowing where your quarterback is going to set up at. If you watch Lamar Jackson, the most mobile quarterback in the NFL, he is up and back in the pocket before he rolls out. When he rolls out, you know what you do? Peace. That's on you now.
I never heard it phrased like that, but I can see exactly what you mean.
Hey, you choose to roll out, either take this 5-yard sack or go get popped on the sideline.
You know, that reminds me, because just I'm trying to visualize this, but that reminds me of the greatest Lamar Jackson thing I've ever seen. And I'm betting you've seen it before because it still gets played. This video is like a meme of the time when Lamar rolled out to his left and Mark Andrews, tight end, is in the end zone and he's going like this. And Lamar, he's running. Go ahead, do it. Yeah, he goes, he makes fun of him like this. He's running and he doesn't throw the ball. It's one of the best things.
It is.
If you don't like Lamar, you're wrong.
Oh, my gosh. That's also where I got earlier. We're speaking on like the 11th player. That's an 11th player moment right there, DK. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had the wide open shot, forced him to cover Mark Andrews, and he's open. But yeah, that's why, DK. Hey, it's on you when you leave the huddle.
Oh God, Chris wants to name one of his children Godzilla.
Oh my God.
We've officially jumped the shark. When we give us a little bit of a break here, we'll be right back to take care of some business to end.
And tell you my secret.
Oh, his secret is coming too. You actually want to hang on for this.
Yeah.
Welcome back. The story is worthwhile. For anybody who wasn't here at the beginning of the show, the context on this is that one of our viewers was praising Justin Fields' accuracy by citing a specific bullet, just pinpoint pass that he made across the middle to Calvin Austin. Memory says that it was around 10 or 12 yards, but it was a gutsy route by Cal. He ran it perfectly, and Justin put it where it needed to be. And that moved this man to send me this text.
Message. Yeah, so I got word from somebody, or secondhand, of course. But on one or two of those plays, I was bragging on Calvin one time. I'm having a conversation with him. It's just like, man, his deep game is going good for the offense, man. And somebody was just like, oh yeah, on one or two of those plays, man, like George would be out there and not really know the play or know the concept of the play, right? And said that Calvin will just tell him, all right, no, I got it. You just block this guy right here. And on one of those deep passes, I'm not sure it's the one you're talking about, DK, but one of those deep passes where Calvin catches it over the middle, you might see George on the sideline like, what the hell? Because Calvin's like, I got it. I know it.
Wow. There you go.
You usually hear of like veterans doing young guys like that when vets know like the ins and outs of the play. And you'll tell somebody, no, I got this play right here. You take this rep off. And Calvin, he got him. Calvin got him.
Slim is that guy who at the grocery store, he just elbows his way to the front of the line. That's what Slim just did here, because no way are we ending this show without you answering this one from him. He says, hey, Moan, do you think the Steelers could persuade Mike Munchak to come back to Pittsburgh and coach this young offensive line? Obligatory Munch question for the day.
Obligatory Munch question. You can always be persuaded. It's a matter of do you want to, okay? And I don't know what Coach Tomlin's relationship is with Coach Pat Meyer, man. So, no, I won't be able to do it. I won't be able to do it.
That's too bad. That's too bad.
I've texted him before, though, and asked him, does he want to be in the mix? And he said, yeah. But it takes two to tango, DK.
It does. It does. Well, we're closing up here for the week.
Yeah. Y'all know how it is, man. If you're in the South and it's snowing, be safe, man. Y'all know how it goes, man. We do not know how to drive in the snow down here, DK, or prepare for it. But at all costs, man, call somebody you ain't talked to in a while. Apologize, even in your relationships, man, or with your kids. Buy somebody a random drink, man. Pay it forward one of these days. Love each other, okay? Especially here. And love Canada, too, by the way. With that being said, man, make it back to us.
He means the country, not the coordinator.
Make it back to us at all costs next week, good people. We'll see you next Wednesday.